free. We ask for strength, so won't it be?
You have a new show that you're going to be in that you've already shot called Tales from Woodcreek.
Yeah.
Tell me how this came about and what was this experience like? Because it's coming up very soon.
Yeah, so Tales from Woodcreek was such an interesting journey that's only gotten better as we've gone along with it. The producer of the show, Ed Gass-Donnelly, he's a member of our Patreon, which is actually how this whole thing came about. He's been on our Patreon. He found his D&D group on our Discord. And he's been messaging us for years, just being like, hey, I'm a producer. And it's one of those things, though, I've told Ed this, that like when he first messaged me, because I said somewhere in Discord that I had written a few screenplays in the past. I had originally went to school for film and wanted to be a writer-director. And I told some people, I was like, yeah, I have a screenplay that I was going to make someday, but never did. And he just messaged me and he's like, hey, send me your screenplay. I'm a producer. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm not going to send him my screenplay. Later, I would meet Ed, and then he ended up being a really nice guy. Still haven't sent him my screenplay. I probably should.
Yeah.
But he also knew Deborah Ann Woll. They had worked together on a few projects. So through our Discord and us getting to know Ed, and then him just kind of telling us one day, he's like, hey, do you want to go for dinner with me and Deb? And we have a project to talk to you about. And I was like, well, yes. We would love to, obviously. That sounds cool, whatever it is. And then he pitched this idea, and I'm not going to lie, like Monty and I left that dinner not doubtful of their capabilities, but I just didn't understand what it is that they pitched to us, because they were like, all right, we're going to play D&D, but it's not going to be D&D. You're going to be up, you're going to be engaging in like an escape room, and it's going to be a reality TV show. And we left, and Monty and I were like, I don't understand what that is. I don't know how that works.
You need to do more LARPing.
Yeah. And so like literally leading up until the shoot day, Monty and I were like the day before being like, what is happening tomorrow? Like, what are we about to experience?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we came off of the shoot days just being like, that was one of the most magical experiences that I could have had. I will say, and I think this is important for the audience to understand, you should not go into Tales from Woodcreek expecting a D&D actual play. I think that that's really important. It has D&D in it, and it's not D&D, but it is D&D run by Deborah Ann Woll, who is a DM who is obsessed with puzzles and engagement. And it's far less, I found, like Monty and I made some cool characters, and we went in being like, how much are we going to roleplay these characters? And the answer was about 40% as much as I do when we're at our home game, where our rule is once the cameras are rolling, you are only role-playing.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of Deb's game and the way that this is structured, and she even told us, it's like, I'm interested in you as much as I'm interested in the character. I want both of those present in the moment. And you really do get that. This isn't like a D&D game around a table. It's a group of really cool people experiencing a game together, being constantly surprised by all the things that are happening. So there is a genuine amount of surprise and delight that is occurring in the show, which I think is actually the real treasure of it. Yeah.
You can't do it any other way, in a sense, because like if you have genuine surprises and you're physically moving around locations, it's difficult to maintain that character, because the part of the fun is a very human reaction.
Yeah.
So if you're having to stay in character the entire time, it's not necessarily hitting home in the same way.
No, there's one scene in particular, and it is in the trailer, so I feel like I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
I brought this up when we were on set, because there's a scene where I have to go by myself through one of the haunted houses looking for something, and I have nothing but a lantern. And so I'm going up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, my character, Valentine, is this bard who is very charismatic and confident. So I'm like, okay, I gotta embody that. So I'm like trying to look confident. So I'm going up the stairs. I'm like, act like Valentine. All of a sudden there's a bang on the wall, and I jump, and you hear me be like, oh, Jesus. And from that moment, I lost it. Like, Valentine wasn't there anymore. I was just scared Kelly with a lantern in a house, being like, I don't want to look for this clue anymore. Like, I'm alone in a haunted house. Like, but it's interesting, because I still think there was value in that.
Yeah.
You're watching it for the character story, but you're watching it for the genuine authenticity of the experience, I think.
It honestly was one of my favorite experiences that I have had in like the last 5 years, shooting this game. And partly because I came into it really not knowing, like really not, like even not knowing more than I should not know.
Yeah.
There was definitely an element of they weren't going to tell us a lot of things because they were surprises. But I have friends that I am just going to say yes to something before they tell me what it is. And the Dungeon Dudes and Deborah Ann, those are friends
You've known
like
Deborah,
that.
yeah, and you've
I've
known Deborah
Ann
a
for a
long
while.
time.
Yeah. And the dudes, you know, when we hung out at conventions, but we never had a chance to play together, and we wanted to. And I just love them so much, just as people. And so when she texted me and was like, I'm doing this show, and it was like one of 20 texts that I was reading at the time, and I was like, Deborah Ann asking me a question, the answer is yes. That's it. That's the text. Go. Like, we want me to do something? Absolutely, I'm doing it. Work it out with the schedulers, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I thought that this show was going to be unique in terms of setting, that we were going to be playing D&D in these really cool historical places. I did not know in any way, shape, or form that it was going to be this crazy immersive escape room traders style. Like it was absolutely just so extraordinary, so much fun, such a mix up from what I was used to, and like you said, such great guests and friends who came in as guests. Our first guest is Iman Vellani, my sweet Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
So Auntie and Ms. Marvel got to get back together and play D&D. It was really fun. Then after Iman was Jessica Henwick and Shaun Majumder, and then of course our beloved Will Wheaton, our sweet man. And yes, I let him touch my dice, and they're fine. So
Oh no,
just so you know.
should not have done it.
Just so you know, I have since rolled several natural 20s on that particular set of
Yeah,
dice.
you just said this on camera, and now things will go very badly for you.
I'm going to take video. I'm going to show you. I'm going to help
I
you
have
break
taken
this
video.
curse.
Well, yeah, okay, we'll
gonna
take video of
happen.
those dice.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I cannot say that the curse was broken during Woodcreek. I cannot, unfortunately, say that.
Yeah.
Things happened. Yeah, it was just, and like I said before, like Deborah's superpower as a DM is enthusiasm. She's so excited to be there. She's so excited for us to be excited. It felt like a kindred spirit, because that's how I like to play. It's like, you love a thing, I love a thing. Oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. Let's love things together. And so even in the darker moments, it was so exciting. Yeah.
Deborah's very good at infectious enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She sure is.
And she glows, and there's a light in her eye when she's getting to Game Master and see people look on people's faces.
There's a little mischievous gleam in her eye.
There is this joy still in unpacking this wonderful puzzle and encountering a whole bunch of surprises along the way. And so it definitely threw me for a loop, because I will say, like, you know, with Woodcreek, I was kind of expecting, oh, I'm going to get to play some D&D. But it was not traditional D&D in any.
But I've seen it this way before, and
Yeah.
I've also known I've known Deborah for a while and played with Deborah. But like, there is a LARP element to it.
It was really delightful.
Yeah.
Right. It was just and very unexpected. Right. And so with those things, it's very much like, okay, let's get on this ride and see where this is going, because there's so many. That's one of those cases where you can see, oh, there's so many plans in store, and I'm just going to get surprised by this whole experience, right? And I certainly was.
What do people like? Can you give us some hints what people are in store for Tales from Woodcreek? Because it looks fantastically shot, and I know like it doesn't have as big of a budget as it necessarily looks like, but like everyone's really hyped up for this new D&D show.
It's a really magical experience. Like I think I said even in the trailer, like I wasn't really sure what to expect. I knew we were going to do something really cool. And being able to create and being able to be part of something that had so much thought and attention to detail and so much layering in both Deborah's world building, but also the scenarios that she created, the puzzles that she created, and the tactile quality of being able to be really immersed in the environments, right? I love escape rooms. I love those types of challenges. And so getting the combination of being able to have a little bit of D&D-isms with a little bit of escape room style stuff was really, really fun and rewarding. And I loved solving the puzzles. There were a few in the midst of it that just like totally blew my mind. And there's one in particular that's in the third or fourth episode that was again one of those examples of a puzzle where there wasn't a correct way to solve the puzzle. There was always going to be some element of like, well, you could do this, you could do this. There were different ways of approaching it. It's my absolute favorite. I don't want to spoil anything, but anyone that once people see it, it was my favorite one of the whole weekend. But like all the props that were brought in and all of like, getting up to do a little bit of the LARPing and things like that were really, really fun. I was definitely through. It was not what I was expecting. And so like, I still had to like, I think that there's a lot of me like actually like processing what I'm seeing right now of being like, what is he even in this? Cause like came into the weekend being like, I'm going to play a paladin and then being able to like engage with puzzles and stuff was so much fun. And so I think one of the really cool things about Tales of Woodcreek in particular is that it's going to be something that for people who have friends or family members that have never experienced D&D and kind of want them to like understand a little bit of what D&D is, but in a very digestible, like reality TV spectacular sort of way, I think that it's going to be a really wonderful series to watch. I think that fans of Deborah Ann Woll and fans of like puzzles and D&D are going to be absolutely delighted by all of it. I think that it definitely is a very, like, even though it's a lower budget production by comparison, it's a much higher budget than your typical D&D game.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely one of those things to like clarify. It's like, no, D&D is not usually this hi-fi with all of these bells and whistles. But I think that there's a lot of inspiration to draw on for players and DMs alike.
Tales from Woodcreek premieres on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel this October 31st. Is an all-star stacked cast. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic time and it looks gorgeous. If you want to support more video content like this, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We have a whole lot more interviews with the cast of Tales from Woodcreek, as well as Deborah Ann Woll. And also you can support more videos like this by going to our Patreon page. That allows us to make more content like this. Thank you so much for watching.